Welcome to week 7 of Explore the Bible. Today we continue in 1 Kings. Looking forward to this passage here, a difficult passage, maybe not for us to study, but a difficult one to watch someone go through. Always hard when we see someone who's alone, who feels in the midst of depression, spiritual depression especially. So let's look at this passage. Before we look at 1 Kings 19, be sure and like, subscribe, share it with others, let others know you're watching this, and comment. If you've got questions or comments, please add those. All right, 1 Kings 19. He entered a cave and spent the night. This is Elijah, right? Suddenly the word of the Lord came to him and said to him, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" He replied, "I've been very zealous for the Lord God of armies, but the Israelites have abandoned your covenant, torn down your altars, killed your prophets with the sword. I alone am left, and they are looking for me to take my life." Well, there you go. What a hard life to be, right? A hard place to be in. He's there in a cave, and he's in a cave overnight, and he hears this voice, right? The word of the Lord comes and says, "What are you doing here?" And he says, "Well, look, I've been zealous for you. I've been working for you. I've been doing what you wanted, right? I've faced down the prophets of Baal. I have stood for Yahweh and been the only one," he said, but the Israelites, they left, right? They abandoned the covenant. They tore down your altars. They killed your prophets. The Israelites are horrible people. This is the key. This is the last sentence. I alone am left. I am the last one left, Lord. I'm the last one standing for you. There's nobody else but me. Boy, what a lonely place, right? What a terrible place to be in when you feel like you're the only one doing the right thing, that there's nobody else that will take the stand that you're willing to take. And sometimes there's excitement in that, but then after a while it becomes exhausting. And that's where Elijah is, right? Then he said, "Go out and stand on the mountain in the Lord's presence." Go out there, you stand on the mountain. At that moment, the Lord passed by. A great and mighty wind was tearing at the mountains and was shattering cliffs before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, there was a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, there was a voice, a soft whisper. The Lord tells him to go out, right? You'll be in the Lord's presence. Come out here into my presence. And then we have this wind that comes, and look at this. It is tearing at the mountains and shattering the cliffs. It's blowing trees down. It is a powerful storm, a tornadic type wind blowing, and that wasn't the Lord. The Lord wasn't there. And then there was an earthquake, and he's on outside of a cave on the side of a mountain, and there's an earthquake. This is not a good place to be, right? The Lord was not there. And then there's this fire. So all of these natural disasters are happening one after another, and things that we might attribute to God, but he says God was not in that. He was not there. But then he hears this still small voice, this soft whisper, right? He hears that. And there's the Lord, right? When Elijah heard it, he wrapped his face in his mantle, that is his robe that he has on, and he went out and he stood at the entrance of the cave. There's the Lord. The Lord has come now, right? Okay, now I see the Lord. I hear the Lord. And suddenly a voice came to him and said, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" This sounds familiar, doesn't it? It's exactly here. "What are you doing here, Elijah?" So he's had this experience. A significant spiritual experience, wouldn't you say? When these things happened, and it was clear that God was not in it, but then he hears the voice. The voice of the Lord speaks clearly to him. He hears this and asks him again this question, "What are you doing here?" And Elijah's been so affected by this that his answer is, "I have been very zealous for the Lord God of armies. But the Israelites have abandoned your covenant, torn down your altars, killed your prophets with the sword, and I alone am left. And they're looking for me to take my life." It is word for word what he said here, right? This tells you that he has been thinking about it. This has been turning over and over again in his heart. And his His feelings are real. His pain, his depression is real. Okay, his feelings are not truth. That's important, but they are real. And there's a big difference there, right? Between what we feel and what we think and what is actually true. But this feeling of being alone is a very real feeling that he has. This feeling of, in essence, feeling abandoned, not only by the people, by the other Israelites, but I think there is a sense he feels like maybe God has abandoned him. And there's almost this, when the Lord asks him again, what are you doing here? And he gives the exact same answer. It's almost like he's saying, God, didn't you listen? Didn't you listen to me the first time I had to say this? Didn't you hear what I was saying? Has it not gotten through to you that I am alone? Then the Lord said to him, go and return by the way you came to the wilderness of Damascus, and when you arrive, you are to anoint Hazael as king over Aram. You are to anoint Jehu, son of Nimshi, as king over Israel, and Elisha, son of Shaphat, from Abel-Meholah, as prophet in your place. So you're to leave this place. Let me just give you a job. You need something to do. All right, I want you to go out here and you're going to anoint the new king of Aram, not an Israelite, right? You anoint the king of Aram, but then you anoint the new king over Israel, and you anoint the guy who's going to take your place, Elisha. He is going to be taking your spot, Elijah. He will be the new prophet in your place. We'll just get you out of a job. Then, he says, Jehu, okay, let's go back. Okay, you're to anoint Hazael as king over Aram, and Jehu, the son of Nimshi, is king over Israel, right? Then Jehu will put to death whoever escapes the sword of Hazael, and Elisha will put to death whoever escapes the sword of Jehu. So, look, here's what's going to happen. Hazael's going to come and attack and going to be killing, and this is going to be used for the judgment of God on those who have abandoned the Lord, right? Those who have chosen Baal over Yahweh. And they're going to be put to death, and then Jehu's going to come in behind him, and he'll clean up, and then Elisha's going to come in behind him, and he'll get the scraps, the last of it, right? But I will leave, listen, I will leave 7,000 in Israel, every knee that has not bowed to Baal, and every mouth that has not kissed him. You hear what the Lord is telling Elijah? Son, you're not alone. Number one, I am here. The Lord Yahweh is here. Right? God has found him in the cave and come to him in the cave. God says, you're not alone. I am here. The fact that we're having this conversation shows you that I'm not alone, right? The fact that I showed up not with this power and all of this violence, but I showed up in the small whisper, the small voice. I'm telling you, you're not alone. But not only that, but I've got Jehu, I've got Hazael, I've got Elisha who are going to do my work, right? And I've got 7,000 in Israel who have not bowed to Baal, who have not kissed Baal. Listen, you're not alone on this earth. There are others who are in this battle also, who are fighting. You don't see them, you don't know about them. Maybe you don't even you don't count them because they're not who you are. Maybe there's a little pride here, Elisha, that your depression comes out of pride, that your self-pity comes out of selfishness and narcissism, maybe a little bit of that in him, right? You're not alone. And so he gives him a job. Here's what I need you to go do. One of the ways out of this self-pity depression thing that he's in is to go to work, right? To go do things, to be active, to get your body functioning. Right, but a big part of it is to let him know, look, there are others out there. If you stay here in this cave by yourself, you're going to die thinking you died all alone. But the reason you died alone is because you chose to stay in the cave. If you'll go, there are other people out there who are serving me, who have not bowed, and who will stand, and I will take care of my kingdom. And there's almost a sense where I feel like back here you could almost say that Elijah might even be saying, Lord, it feels like I care more about this nation than you do. Let me tell you something. Not one of us cares more about the kingdom. Not one of us cares more about the church than the Lord does. And the fact that he hasn't acted the way we want him to, does not mean that he doesn't care about it. It just means that his ways and our ways are not the same. And what we need to do is to sit down and be quiet, maybe listen for the still small voice of God and appreciate that God is at work. And his timetable is not our timetable, and that's got to be okay. We're going to have to get ourselves off of this throne and put the Lord on the throne and accept that he is the one taking care of the kingdom. And it is his kingdom to take care of. And we're not alone. There are others out there. They may not be doing the same thing we're doing. They may not be doing it the same way we're doing it. That doesn't mean there are not people out there who are also committed to the Lord. Hey, I hope that helps as you study. I want to thank you for teaching and appreciate those of you that have commented on the past videos and grown our subscriber list. We've gone over 700 now. Excited about that. Looking forward to what God's going to do in the future. Thanks for watching. Share it with others. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like, comment, ask your questions, and we'll see you next time.